training that model from 2021 that has no internet access.
So this 2021 model does internet access. What would happen if Microsoft somehow connected that to the internet? What would happen, man?
It all depends on how it's wired, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How's it currently extracting the data,
Like
right? Is it
if it was like connected to like a machine, a physical machine,
yeah.
what would the machine do? I would be kind of scared to be around that machine.
We've seen, I mean, historically, didn't Microsoft create like a chatbot that went wild on Twitter, I think a few years ago or something, when it had access to the internet? Like it was learning from people and it started to go haywire. Like it started shouting things about racism and a Nazi and basically created, they had to kill it because it was just like getting out of hand.
Yeah.
So I think like that they probably were trying to prevent that from happening because I'm sure 100% sure the people behind the project ChatGPT know that the internet is going to start to troll with it, try to mess with it, try to do all kinds. And you're seeing memes around where it's trying to test how far the balance can go, right? So if you had a model that was connected to the internet, it'd get pretty chaotic pretty fast.
It's really interesting. One of my favorite movies is the movie Transcendence. Have you seen it?
Yep.
I think I've
Seen
watched
it.
it 4 times. This, I mean, I'm like a faith person, and it sort of goes against like my faith, but it's still fast. As a software developer, there's like a side to be like, oh, this is really cool, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the idea behind uploads, right? Mind uploads, body uploads, data. We're reaching that point of where people are starting to understand everything is data. Data is the new oil. That you basically can look at anything you want. When you scan a QR code, you're transmitting that you're reading off of something, right? You're being able to connect two devices into one. So when people start to really understand that, hey, if everything it can be projected as data to again create or fuel the virtual world, because you could scan a cup or something, the weight of it and everything else, and upload it into some sort of virtual environment, and you'll have a replication of that cup with the actual attributes and physics and everything else. So if you're able to do that in a virtual capacity, think about the implications of what you can do when you could do this for full entire environments, right? And what that means for healthcare and life science, what that means for testing a lot of just things that were highly risky to be able to test on actual, whether it's animals or whether it's people, right? A lot of procedures. So this opens another conversation of where eventually, and I mean eventually, I'm sure you've heard of CRISPR, right? Where people are talking about the ethics behind being able to do something like that. It's going to fall into the same thing. AI is eventually going to have an ethic conversation. It's eventually going to have a conversation of where people go, okay, well, how far is too far for us to turn into our own gods, right? How far is too far when we start to actually create simulated environments, go against the flow of what is possible and try to project into future state? Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're taking data from a current state, right? Like you're human. If I were to, and I don't know if technology like this exists yet, if I connected you into something that's able to process real-time data based off your vitals right now, and then I upload that into a virtual environment, and then I also then take the procedure and I use data to basically go and discern what the possibility or probability and success of that experiment is on the data, like real-time data. It's the same person almost. At what point are you thinking, okay, I am trying to future project now, and I'm going against pretty much all the laws of nature, right? There is going to become a time where I think regulation, ethics, and a whole bunch of other stuff is going to be open from this.
So, like, the productivity gains are akin to like having horse, like an ox and a plow versus a combine harvester. So, if we just think of this AI is the next evolution, the net output for humanity is going to increase. So the world, in a sense, should be able to support more people. We should have better lifestyles. We should
Sure.
be able to not have to work. So I really hope that we do manage to have a fair system, because there's going to be so many people out of work.